Todd McIntosh. I'm here with Andrea Brook in San Miguel de Allende for Day of the Dead, and we're chatting about her visit here. You've brought a rather unique instrument with you. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd be happy to, Todd. The instrument that I play is called sonic butterfly, and sonic butterfly is a long string harp. And long string harps have actually been around for a number of decades, and sonic butterfly is my design of long string harp. And specifically, I designed sonic butterfly. Why sonic butterfly? Is because a big part of my life is about transformation, about releasing limiting beliefs about who we are, and really stepping into our fully realized authentic self. Because I believe that the world is at its most beautiful when we live our lives to our fullest expression.
Well, that's lovely. Is that the feeling, the emotion you want people to leave the event with?
Without a doubt. It's really, for me, about being inspired. Long string harps are such incredible instruments, and so to see this harp that has strings, probably this installation, the strings are 150 to 100 feet long, and they're strung to La Parroquia, which is the main cathedral in the center square of San Miguel. And so for the people who live here and for the people who are visiting, to step into an environment where suddenly they see something that they probably have never seen before, and to recognize it as something they've never even conceived of. We're so used to instruments being guitars, violins, drums, different, horns, different types of instruments. And so we think, oh, that's what music is, and that's what an instrument is. But when you see this, you think, wait a second, if that can exist, then maybe the crazy idea that I have in my mind can actually exist.
So it sounds to me like breaking borders is a valuable part of your transformational process.
Without a doubt. And I really see that the strings, what they're doing is they're creating connection. They're tying different things together. They're tying together, in this case, Laka Laka Festival with the more traditional experience of the Day of the Dead. And so here we have, this connection between worlds. And I really believe that the long strings are acting as that connector, whether it's between external worlds or between the thoughts and ideas and the heart and the mind and the creative impulses and the belief in oneself that we can achieve. And in many ways, I think that's what Laka Laka and the Day of the Dead, this connection between the strings are drawing, is doing. It's like the Laka Laka people are saying, we can do this. And, and the Day of the Dead is saying, we believe. And so we're connecting those two worlds.
So the strings are bridging as opposed to walls and borders.
Exactly.
It sounds to me like being a non-typical instrument is almost a choice as much as what note to play and things. Do you see that these kinds of choices are going to be more and more part of various artists' repertoires?
I think without a doubt. One of the environments that I have the opportunity to play in, I play in lots of different environments, from corporate events to performing arts centers to festivals. And I think in particular in the festival world, whether it's a festival like Laka Laka, or a transformational festival, or an international arts festival, what I see in those environments is artists who are creating something that's never been created before, or if they are taking something that is familiar, they're transforming it, they're transmuting it into an authentic expression that is one that no one's ever done before. So I think there's a lot of this experience of what can I do? How can I take that next step? And how can I be a pioneer, a leader? How can I be an inspiration for all people to say, we're ready to take that next step to creating a world that's filled with art, music, beauty, love, potential?
Wow, that's heartwarming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is looking back at your own transformation, can you see where this process started for you? Was there a moment, an epiphany?
I think that for me, I've always been this way. I even as a little girl, I believed that my job was to learn how to take care of this world. And that then it was a process to discover, well, how was I going to do that? And at first, I followed the world of politics. I actually have a bachelor's degree from UCLA in Russian studies because I wanted to be the US ambassador to the Soviet Union. And I thought perhaps by bridging, you know, the East and the West during the Cold War, that we could create dialogue, that we could create that connection that would break down these differences and these divisions and see what was possible. Through that study, which was phenomenal, I got to watch the fall of communism as it occurred. However, I came out from that experience thinking what I really want is not through consciousness, or not through politics to change the world, but instead through consciousness, through the process of each individual thinking for themselves and saying, what is it that I think? And recognizing that what each individual thinks is equally as important. That there are not certain individuals that are allowed to think for us, but that instead we're allowed to think for ourselves. And so I followed the world of yoga. I'm also a yoga teacher and have been teaching now for about 16 years. And at the same time, through art, through music, through dance, through, you know, all of the art forms that I utilize in my shows.
So in your transformational journey, what's next?
What is next? The next thing I want to create is a show called Journey to the Sun. And it will be a full-length performing arts center show. And it is about bridging together the very traditional, the symphony orchestra and traditional symphonic music with long strings. I've played with symphony orchestras before, and long strings are absolutely beautiful, but instantaneously you transform the symphony from something that has been around for ages into something that's brand new. And then I want to bring that together with projections and with dance music and with modern contemporary music and art forms in order to create a show that takes us through a two-part transformation. First, the metamorphosis of the caterpillar, which is a very simple form, into the butterfly, that metamorphosis, that chrysalis. And then the second half is that the butterfly looks up and sees the sun and says, I want to be a part of the sun. And the sun is what creates life here on this planet for all of us. And so the butterfly recognizes that it wants to expand even beyond that form that it's created. And so it journeys to the sun.
Outstanding. Well, I'd like to thank you for chatting with us today. I'm looking forward to your performance this evening.
Thank you so much.